Everybody back inside our NBA TV studios here in Atlanta. Matt Weiner, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge with instant analysis from the first-round picks. Number 5 is now off the board, I should say. The Toronto Raptors went international. Jonas Valanciunas from Lithuania, second big man taken already, true center position. Valanciunas is considered by some perhaps the best prospect in this NBA draft. However, there's a sticky issue of a lockout. Not a lockout, a buyout, I should say, with his pro team in Europe, which could keep him out of the NBA perhaps this season, perhaps longer than that. How big a problem is it for Toronto?
Well, look, it is an issue. People believe that he will stay overseas for at least 1 year, perhaps 2, and that was a concern for some teams. Other teams thought not only would it not be an issue, they wouldn't mind waiting a year for him because a lot of people think this is the best big man available in this year's draft and think this guy's got a chance to be an outstanding center. He is a physical player. He finishes at the rim. He knows how to play. He's got really good footwork. So there's a lot of upside to this guy. The question is just, when do you get him? And that's what scared some teams off. But keep this in mind, Matt. The clock doesn't stop just because you draft him. You can still work out a buyout arrangement with this guy, even though right now it does not look promising.
When you look at it, DA, if he decides or Toronto can get a chance to get him now, you have Bargnani, who's a stretch center.
Yeah, that's what they want him to play for.
And they want him to play for. And then you have Ed Davis. So I think you have a lot of young talent, and you look at him on film. He's athletic, he's long, and he'll get a chance to not have that much pressure on him when you have an Ed Davis and a Bargnani who will take the pressure off him. A pretty good pick for the Toronto Raptors because they see something for the future for them.
New coach in Toronto with Dwayne Casey taking that job. In terms of the timeline, what does it mean to you if you're a Raptors fan or part of that organization that you're probably not going to have him for maybe a year?
Fans are not patient. They want to see the player right now, but I think when you look at it, at the end of the day, you get a player that comes over NBA rating. Look at the San Antonio Spurs when they had a chance to have the Manu Ginobili's rights. When he came over, he was ready to play instantly and made a big splash. So if you can get that type of player and you can get a chance for 1 or 2 years, let him develop a little bit more, and he comes over and ready to play, I think Toronto Raptors is a team, not next year or the year after, that you think they'll be going into the playoffs. I think, down the line, they should be a pretty good team.
And just to clean up the rules for NBA teams concerning European buyouts, the Raptors can spend $500,000.
Yep, and that's right. And then the player has to come up with the rest. And the number that I've heard is $2.5 million buyout for next year.
And players typically don't want to spend that kind of money to change
or
teams.
$2 million even.
It's sort of why the Minnesota Timberwolves waited 2 years for Ricky Rubio. Same kind of situation. More instant analysis coming up here on NBA.com.